Danger. Okay, so
garlic.
I'm operating the camera right now, and these guys are like three wild animals breaking into this brisket and this baked potato and the beans. So that makes me feel good that I think I did right. But
you're good, Roger.
Here in a minute, I'll take a taste test and I'll give you guys for sure a feeling of how I think this went. Okay. Hello and welcome back to Outdoor Cooking Adventures with me, Canyonman Raj. Today we are out in the Daddle Mountains, west central New Mexico. We are only about 4 or 5 days into spring. We're at about 8,500 feet. There is a little bit of snow on the ground behind us, so it's a chilly day. It was a chilly night last night. But today, for our cooking adventure, I'm going to do a 4-pound brisket in a Dutch oven. And we're going to cook it in some beer and some other stuff. And give me a minute, we'll get everything set up and I'll show you what we're going to put in it and how we put this thing together. Stay with us. Okay, we've gotten everything together. You know me, if I can do any prep at home, I will do that so I don't spend my time out here in the mountains doing a bunch of prep time. So I prep a lot of stuff. I use vacuum seal bags, vacuum it up, throw in the cooler. You don't have to worry about it leaching one way or the other. Everything stays fresh. So let's get started on the ingredients that we're going to use today, and we're going to cook everything in a Dutch oven, and it's already been primed a little bit. It's been set next to the fire, so it's warmed up. We're going to use that, and then for our main ingredient is we're going to use a 4-pound brisket. Now this brisket has been marinating for 24 hours. I used a 1/3 cup of red wine vinegar, a 1/4 cup of Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce, some fresh ground black pepper, and a little bit of salt. It's that simple. And then we're going to use, we have a bunch of fresh cut onions that we have here. Like I said, I prepped all this yesterday. Those will go in there. I have some fresh garlic cloves that will also be part of this awesome meal. And then, last but not least, you know me on my cooking videos, I like to highlight something from New Mexico, either if it's a cooking device or a product that we can use for cooking. So today, I am using Monk's Dark Ale from Abiquiu Brewing, and Abiquiu Brewing is a little bit north of Abiquiu Lake, right on the Chama River, and they brew beer there, and it is wonderful. And a small little interesting story about Abiquiu Brewing is my cameraman Matt, thank you for filming as always. A couple 3 years ago we were floating the Chama River and we floated right by Abiquiu Brewing. It was the middle of summer, we hadn't had anything cold for probably 4 days, and we're floating by a brewery thinking, gosh, it would be nice to go in there and have a cold beer under air conditioning. I don't think that was possible. We didn't even try to do it. But so anyway, so that's what we're highlighting. Our New Mexico product is the Monk's beer. And I'm gonna start prepping all this stuff. We'll get it ready to go and I'll show you how we put it together. Stay with us. Okay, we're ready to put this thing together and get it in the Dutch oven and start doing some cooking. So our first step is, obviously we got it out of our vacuum seal. When I pulled it out, you could already smell the deliciousness in it. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these little cloves of garlic, and we're gonna take a sharp paring knife, and you're gonna wanna just poke a little hole in it like that, and we'll take a chunk of garlic and stuff in there. And we're gonna kinda do that, and we're gonna fill this puppy up with garlic. And it's going to be tremendous, let me tell you. All right, one more in the middle. Okay, so we've got that process done. and boy, it's already smelling good. We haven't even got it in the oven yet. So with clean hands, my next step is to put this in the Dutch oven, and then we'll add all the rest of our ingredients. Got clean hands. Okay, we're gonna go here, and this Dutch oven has kind of been pre-warmed a little bit. We're gonna drop it in there just like that. Fits just perfect. Okay, and we'll bring that over here. Now, for the rest of our ingredients, we're gonna go ahead and put a touch of thyme in here on this. Not a whole lot, just a little bit of color, something kind of like that. And then we're gonna take some sage. Don't forget your sage, this is a big part of it. All right, don't use a lot, just enough for a little bit of flavor. Kind of something like that. And the sage is really strong. Okay, our next step is we are going to, we're gonna put our beer in here. And also, let's see, I have one more thing. Yeah, I'm gonna hang with us. I'm gonna add one more ingredient. I'll be right back. Okay, I had to get the liquid smoke because we can't do this without liquid smoke. And my deal with liquid smoke is it's very strong, so you don't want to use a whole lot of it. But we're gonna just splash just a little bit on here, maybe probably no more than a teaspoon. And we'll kind of take this knife and kind of spread it around a little bit, kind of spread that flavor out, and that'll be good. It doesn't take a whole lot to give you that smoky flavor. Okay, so then our next step is we are going to add 2 yellow onions that are sliced. Of course, I pre-sliced all those, and we're gonna put these right on top of our meat, just like that. All right. And then, last but not least, we have our Monk's Dark Ale. And here we go. Yum, and it is delicious tasting too. So when we pour this beer in here, we're gonna pour it off to the side because I don't want it to wash away the liquid smoke on the meat itself. So we're gonna fill in the sides here. I have 2 beers. It may not take quite that much, but it's foaming up pretty good here. There's one. It'll probably take about another third or a half of another. And you can hear the airplanes in the background, huh? Okay, so we put about a beer and a third in there. That'll be enough. I don't want to drown the liquid smoke. So at that point, we're going to take off to the stove or to the fire and get this thing ready to cook. And what we're going to do is we're going to invert the lid because that is where our coals are going to go. Be just like that. So here in just a minute, you can follow me over to the fire and we'll get this thing started. Stay with us. Okay, we've made it over to the fire, and we're going to put it on a cool device that was provided by my buddy Terry, who's sitting over here in the background. But this is a wood gas stove, and I have something similar to this on a much smaller scale for backpacking, but that's basically what this is. But we're not going to use it as a wood gas stove. We're just going to use it to hold our Dutch oven, and we're going to place it right there, and that's where it's going to be for probably about the next 3 hours. And that is a super cool device. And what we're going to do next is we are going to take a little bit of heat and put right up here on top. Because keep in mind, we're slow cooking. We are not frying. So we're gonna heat it from the top and not really I put a little bit of starter coals on the bottom to heat up the stove, but for the most part, we're going to introduce our heat from the lid. So there we go. I think in about 4 hours, 3.5 or 4 hours, we're going to be eating a delicious dinner. I have some baked potatoes that I'm going to throw in the fire and have some baked beans off to the side. But this is the primary thing of the video, and it's going to be delicious. I know these guys are going to like it. I can't wait to try it too. So stay with us, and we're going to be here for about the next 4 hours cooking this thing. We'll show you off and on what we're doing and what it looks like. Okay, well, it's about 2 hours into our cooking time, and every now and then we're catching a whiff of some onions and some other cooking going on. But I wanted to show you how we're cooking this this brisket in this Dutch oven. And every now and then I'm putting a few coals up on top and just letting it kind of bake a little bit. We're cooking it really slow, so we're not rushing it at all. And then I'm kind of knocking some of the old coals off to the edge, and they're burning up and going away. So that's my method of slow cooking with this Dutch oven. We're not going to open the lid, because opening the lid would probably cause an extra or create another half-hour cooking time. So we don't want to do that. We know we're cooking slow and we know we're doing good. So stick with us and we'll show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, it's been 4.5 hours and we pulled our brisket off the stove over there. And we're going to take a look and see what we got. I haven't opened it, so we're going to take a look. It's cooled off a little bit. It's been about 15 minutes since we pulled it off. But yeah, oh yeah, look at that. It smells wonderful. It really does. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove it from our Dutch oven over here to a platter where we can kind of deal with it a little bit better. Oh, paper towels are not cooperating. And the mic isn't either. Okay, we're going to do it the best we can. So we're going to take our brisket here. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, my goodness, it smells so good. And there's a lot of this broth on the backside that you could add to your brisket. I also have barbecue sauce. And you know what? I think I'm going to cut into this and see how it looks. So hang with us, and I'm going to get some knives together and we'll cut into this. Alright, hang with us. Alright, I got all my knives together and we're going to cut into this and take a look and see what it looks like. Now when you cut into a brisket like this, you always want to cut against the grain. And it looks like to me the grain is kind of going something like this across the brisket. So we're going to start right here on this. We'll start right here on this corner so you can see what I'm doing here. We're going to hold it down. It's really tender. It just cuts right through it. Look at that. And then we'll just take this and kind of cut it up a little bit like this. But you know what I want to do is I'm curious. And I want to take a taste and see what we got here before we plate it all up. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, you can taste the garlic, the onions. It is really, really tender and juicy and sweet. I love it. Okay, I can't wait to put everything together, show you what we got when we put our plates together. Thanks, man. Okay, well, you've seen all the guys make their plates. They weren't hesitating at all. Everyone's hungry and they're all happy about eating. Matt's happy. Thank you, buddy, for operating the camera. I appreciate that. So I've had a little bit of it, and oh yeah, that is good. I'd recommend doing that. It's delicious. You can really taste the red wine vinegar and the Worcestershire in the marinade for that brisket. It is delicious. So I made baked potatoes in the campfire, and we did some baked beans also to add to the side, but I wanted to feature the brisket with the Monk's Dark Ale from Abiquiu Brewing, and that was kind of our feature ingredient for this video. As you can tell, it is snowing. It is springtime here in New Mexico and it is snowing, but we are camping. We're going to stick it out, and I want to thank you all for showing up and watching this video. Questions or comments, leave them down below. Anybody who likes this video, give me a thumbs up, and we appreciate you watching. Thank you for watching the Outdoor Cooking Adventures with Canyon Man Raj. Thank you for watching.